So today let's see about gymnosperm. Gymnos means naked and sperms means seeds. Usually when you take a mango, you can see seed inside a fleshy portion. This fleshy portion is what we will call as fruit, and this inside hard one we call it as seed. So usually this is ovary and this is ovule. So in a plant, the ovule will develop into seed and the ovary will develop into fruit. But in the case of gymnosperm, since it is naked seed, the ovary part is absent. That is, the ovules are not enclosed by ovary. The trees are either shrubs or tall trees. It may grow to a great height. For example, sequoia, which is known as giant redwood. When you take root of some gymnosperms, it may engage in a symbiotic relationship with fungi or cyanobacteria. So when it is if a pinus root is in a symbiotic relationship with fungi, this fungi will provide an additional absorbing mechanism to the root. Usually root will absorb water and nutrients from the soil. So this fungi will give additional support. That is, it will also absorb nutrition from the soil and provide it to the plants. Instead, this pinus will provide food and shelter to fungus. So this kind of symbiotic relationship between a plant root and fungi is known as mycorrhiza. Yes, so that's what we have discussed. So next is cycas root. Cycas is another gymnosperm. Pinus is an example for gymnosperm, where it is in a symbiotic relationship with an algae known as cyanobacteria. Usually, actually this cyanobacteria was considered once as an algae, but after studying about it, it was discovered that it is a prokaryotic organism. That is, its nucleus lacked the nuclear wall, and its cell wall composition also resembles to that of bacteria. Hence, it is named as cyanobacteria, but it is capable of producing food by photosynthesis. So this kind of symbiotic relationship between cycas root and algae, cyanobacteria, is known as coralloid roots. So the roots are coral shaped and it will grow upward and out of the ground. So cyanobacteria will help in nitrogen fixation and it will provide nitrogen to cycas root. In return, cycas root will provide shelter to this cyanobacteria. So when you take a leaf, the leaf may be either simple. So it may be either simple like this or compound. Compound, it is divided into leaflets. So a leaf is divided into leaflets. This is compound leaves. This leaf blade is divided into leaflets. So cycas, that small stiff feather-like leaves known as pinnate leaves will persist for few years. And if you take stem, it may be either branched as in pinus or unbranched as in cycas. So leaves are usually needle-like and it has a thick cuticle. So when you see in a microscope, the outer layer of the leaf is protected by a waxy coating called this cuticle, and it will provide excess loss of water, and it also helps to withstand extreme temperature and humidity. It also prevents the water from entering in, protecting the leaves from getting spoiled, from decaying, and it has a sunken stomata. So when you see in the epidermis, also usually the stomata will be like this. So it is exposed outside. It facilitates gaseous exchange, whereas in the case of sunken stomata, it is embedded inside. So this provides an additional mechanism to survive heat as it reduces the excess lot of water. So next is reproduction. So entire plant is a sporophyte, that is, it is diploid. Only the gametophytic stage will be haploid. So it produces two kind of spores, hence it is known as heterosporous, those smaller ones being the microspores, and it is produced in numerous amount. And megaspores are the female. Microspores are usually the male gametes and megaspores are usually the female gametes. It is produced in limited number. So they are usually produced in a special structure called sporangium, which is present in a specialized leaf called sporophyll. So At the time of reproduction, a special leaf will be formed, that is sporophyll. Inside the sporophyll, a structure known as sporangium will be there, which will be the sex organs. So, the sporangium bearing microspores are known as microsporangium, and it is found on microsporophyll, whereas the sporangium bearing megaspores are megasporangium, and it is present on megasporophyll. The sporophylls are usually spirally arranged into structures called cone or strobili. This microspore, inside you can see microspore mother cells, so it is usually diploid, which will undergo meiosis to produce haploid microspores, which will, it is also known as pollen grain. It will have the male nucleus called inside this anthrozoid. Here when you take inside the megasporangium, you can see megaspore mother cell. It will be diploid to N, and it will undergo meiosis to produce 4 megaspores, that is haploid. So this megaspores inside megasporangium is together known as archegonia, which is the female reproductive structure. Inside this you can see the female gamete, that is egg. So this is haploid. In the anthrozoid, that is male gamete will be present, that is also haploid. So during fertilization they do not go anywhere outside the thing. So this pollen will be transferred to this archegonia through air, and it will, once it reaches the archegonium, it will extend a tube like structure from its body, that is known as pollen tube. The pollen tube, it will grow till it reaches the egg, and it will rupture and will release the male nucleus near the egg. Egg also has a nucleus. Both the nucleus will fuse. So here haploid will fuse to form a diploid nucleus. So this fusion is known as fertilization. So both male and female gamete fuse, resulting in the formation of diploid oospores. It will develop into the embryo, which is found in the seed. Once the seed is in the soil, it will grow into a new plant. So it is almost like the plants which we see around. The only thing is here it doesn't have a fruit like structure that is covering the seed. So that's why it is known as gymnosperms.